point that humanity has a hard future ahead of us. There's a lot of questions we have to ask ourselves. Do you future for the? Do you hope for the future of mankind?
Right, right. I'll tell you what. I became so tired of cursing the darkness, right? My mother used to say to me, anything you're not willing to do something about, shut up, right? Now, years ago, when I was religious, I was in the Legion of Mary. And the motto of the Legion of Mary is this: better it is to strike a light than to curse the darkness. So I'm always trying to strike a light.
If you could give a message to the world, what would it be?
If I give a message to the world, believe in love, because Gandhiji told us if love wasn't the predominant feature in human beings' lives, there wouldn't be any of us left.
Thank you. And have you anything interesting in your pockets or on you?
Yeah.
Or tell us a bit about the video.
Yeah. Hang on a minute. God, this guy scares me. Who is this fella? Are you a German? Huh? Oh, is he? Oh, sorry. I hope. Yes. Yeah. I have this called Survivors. You can have a copy. See if you can survive. And I have Clear the Streets.
Yeah, I have a copy of it.
So this is a commercial for Clear the Streets, right?
Can we get a copy of the streets?
Can you give me £3 and I'll give it to you? Or more if you have it. And this is a brilliant, brilliant thing called The Cosmos on Fire by Avatar. So, it's all right. I just want to say this much, right? For years and years and years, I lived on the side of a mountain, eating brown rice, reading the mystics from the East, Bhagavad Gita, Tao Te Ching, all that, right? And I had a guru, which I still have, Paramahansa Yogananda, even though he died in 1953. He founded what was called a Self-Realization Fellowship. And the basis of it was that regardless of your sectarian associations, it was your duty as a human being to develop yourself. And I became very, very involved with that. And people used to think that the term guru means teacher. Well, it does, but it means something more specific. It means dispeller of darkness. So the preaching of, or the teaching of Prabhupada, Swami Prabhupada, was this: the day of the personality guru is finished. That every human being is able at some time or another to dispel the darkness of another human being. If only listening to the guy whining about his girlfriend pissing off, you know. So this idea of the universal guru is one in Street People's Alliance that we had, where now there are 12 dead from Street People's Alliance, 12 dead. And it says it in that, actually. Did I give you survivors? Right. When you hear me talking in there, you'll hear all about it. But the two other men, Dennis Connolly and Tom Power, they were, in a sense, they'd been the longest in the street. They were the most experienced. They were the most survival-oriented. So we depended on them to lead us. Now, neither of them have had a drink for over 8 years. And they attributed to the fact of seeing themselves in Clear the Streets. They were so appalled. Now, this, to me, I believe that we're on the threshold of a new thing, where filmmakers can film people at their worst with their permission and then show it to them. It's an incredible therapy. I have footage of me that I'm ashamed to show. Right now, I hope to have the courage to show it sooner or later, you know. And I believe in love and peace. In the Renaissance of the 50s and the 60s and the 70s, which I call a Renaissance, the hippies took it over. Like they were the lunatic fringe, you know? Sorry, man. They were the lunatic fringe. It's like the lesbians took over women's liberation. But the essence of the Renaissance was, it's up to you, man. Don't come bitching to me about the government, man. You know? And we had a wonderful culture, and we had a very important thing. We believed that the sanctification of money had to be challenged, right? And that it had to be treated like any other energy. So they invented a thing called WAM, W-A-M, stands for walking around money. Because we believed that if you had no money, you were in danger because you might have to ask strangers for money or anything. So we'd meet each other, never saw each other before. Got any wham, man? Yeah. The maximum was $5. You couldn't give anybody more than $5. Then the person had to undertake to pass that $5 along. So I believe in wham, right? And just finally on this, I went around today, I thought I'd put it to the test. And I asked a lot of people I knew really, you got any spare money? Huh? Spare money? What? How much? And if you have a spare 1,000, give it to me. If you have a spare 20, give me that. The shock to their minds is they can't get it into their heads that money is shit, man. You just give it away if you can. I got £16.80, right? And then I went to these young Americans who were very arrogant. Now my children are Americans, so I have nothing against Americans. And I said to them, you got any spare change? They said, no, we don't. I said, okay, I'll give you some. So I took out a handful of money and was giving it to them. They couldn't take it. Isn't it extraordinary? What's your first name?
Gerald, I met you before. We showed Clear the Streets in
right.
social space.
Thanks, Gerald. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it was really cool because we had Dennis down as well, and we interviewed him. Outside, he was just telling us what had happened to him.
Do you have Clear the Streets?
I don't have a copy of
Right.
it, that's what I was saying.
All right, and I'm going to give you this, which you know Avatar the band?
Yeah.
And you know what Avatar means?
Yeah, it's...
Dispeller of darkness.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yes. So we have to keep in mind that any intercourse, sexual or otherwise, that we have with other human beings, that it's incumbent upon us to remember that if we dishonor them, we dishonor us. And I owed this